The crew of the Persephone was in the main cargo hold, all 22 of them. Morrison stood in the hatchway and looked at them and took his time doing it because he had learned a long time ago that the first 30 seconds you spend looking at something unexpected are the most important 30 seconds you have. After that, your mind starts filling in gaps and making assumptions, and the picture you end up with is part what you saw and part what you expected to see. And those two things are not always the same. He took his 30 seconds, 22 men and women in their work clothes, positioned around the hold the way a crew positions itself during a standard cargo inspection. Standing at intervals, some with clipboards still in their hands, some with tools. One woman near the forward bulkhead with a coffee cup held at chest height, her fingers loose around it, the coffee long since cold, all of them upright, all of them with their eyes open, all of them breathing in the slow, shallow way of people in very deep sleep, none of them responding to light or sound or touch. Chen was beside him. He had checked 6 of them now, and the report was the same for all 6. Breathing. No pulse he could find. Skin temperature low, but not cold. Eyes reactive to light, the pupils contracting when Chen shone his torch at them, which meant the nervous system was functioning at some level, which meant whatever this was, it was not death. It was something that looked like death from a distance and was something else entirely up close. Morrison stepped into the hold. He walked slowly between the still figures of the crew, past the man with the clipboard, past the 2 engineers standing side by side near the ventilation housing as if they had stopped mid-conversation, past the young deckhand who could not have been more than 20 years old, standing with one hand resting on a cargo strap, his face turned slightly to the left, looking at something over Morrison's shoulder that was not there. Morrison turned and looked over his own shoulder. Nothing, just the hold behind him. And Reyes in the hatchway watching him with that careful face. He turned back. He crouched in front of the young deckhand and looked at his face. Young. Very young. Someone's kid working his first deep water posting. His eyes were the color of shallow water, pale blue, and they were open, and they were pointed in Morrison's direction, but they were not seeing him. They were seeing something else. Something that was not in this hold and not on this ship and possibly not in any place. Morrison had a name for. "What are you looking at?" Morrison said quietly. The deckhand did not answer. Morrison stood up. He keyed his radio. "Kowalski, what is your position?" Kowalski's voice came back. "Aft passageway. We have been checking cabins, all empty. Personal effects in place. Beds some of them slept in, some not. Looks like it happened during the day watch. Morrison, there is something else." "Go ahead," Morrison said. "The cabin's on the port side forward. Someone has been in them recently, not the crew. The crew is all in the hold with you. Someone else has been in those cabins, and Morrison, the doors are locked from the inside, and I cannot get them open." Morrison looked at Chen. "Stay with the crew," he said. "Nobody leaves this hold. Nobody touches anything." He went forward. The port-side passageway was narrow and low the way passageways are on working cargo ships, built for function, not comfort. Painted gray, lit by fluorescent strips that buzzed softly in the silence. Morrison moved through it and felt the ship around him the way you feel a ship when you've spent your life on them. The vibration of the engines, the slow roll on the Atlantic swell, the particular silence of a large vessel with no crew moving through her. Not quite silence. There was something else in it. Under the engine vibration and the roll and the hum of the fluorescence. A sound that was not mechanical and not the sea. Low and irregular and coming from ahead of him, from the locked cabins. From the locked cabins, Kowalski was waiting at the first door. Morrison tried the handle. Locked. He put his ear to the door. The sound was clearer here, low and slow and rhythmic like breathing. But not human breathing. Too slow. Too deep. The breathing of something with a chest much larger than a human chest, expanding and contracting in the dark on the other side of a locked cabin door, on a ship in the middle of the Atlantic. Morrison stepped back from the door. He looked at Kowalski. Kowalski looked back. "How many cabins?" Morris said. 4, Kowalski said. "All locked from inside. All with the same sound." Morrison keyed his radio. "All with the same sound. All with the same sound. I need everyone to move to the main deck right now. Leave everything. Do not stop. Move to the main deck and get to the pilot ladder. We are leaving the ship." A pause. Then Reyes on the radio. "Morrison, the pilot ladder." "What about it?" Morrison said. "It is gone," Reyes said. Someone pulled it up. Morrison stood in the port-side passageway of the Persephone, with the sound of something breathing behind 4 locked doors, and no way off the ship and his crew scattered through 600 feet of corridors and holds, and he thought about the track on the chart plotter. 19 days on autopilot, heading due west. Toward the U.S. eastern seaboard. Toward port, toward people. He thought about the position where the track started. The position he knew by reputation. The stories that went back far enough and were consistent enough. He thought about the crew in the hold. Eyes open, looking at something that was not there. He thought about 22 people who had come down here to do a routine cargo inspection and had not left. All teams, he said into the radio. His voice was very steady. Listen carefully. Do not use the passageways. Move through the holds. Stay together. Get to the main deck and stay there and wait for me. He looked at the locked door one more time. The breathing behind it had changed. It was faster now. Shallow and quick, the way breathing changes when something wakes up. When something becomes aware that the ship it has been alone on for 19 days is alone no longer. Morrison turned and walked back the way he had come, quickly, not running. 20 years of experience told him very clearly that whatever was behind that door could hear him, and that running was not the thing to do. Walking was the thing to do. Walking fast and not looking back and getting his people together and finding a way off this ship before whatever was in those cabins finished waking up. Chapter 2 ends here. Chapter 3, coming Friday. Subscribe to The Drifting Dark. The pilot ladder is gone. Something is awake, and Morrison's crew is still aboard.